Hello. Hopefully you can hear me. I haven't tested this mic yet. I like to wear these little mics so that you can hear me better since I do these outside. Let's see, it's Sunday. I don't know how many people are hanging out on Facebook on such a beautiful day. It is gorgeous here in California. Hi, Brian. But I hear it is hot back in Ohio. So this is one of the few times I think that, hi John, this is one of the few times I think that back home is hotter than here in California. So I just thought I'd pop on. I was going to shower and make myself look halfway decent, but there's no point. You guys know that I'm just all about being real. And this is what I got going on. I am trying to box things up and sell things, and trying to sell things through the Nextdoor app or Facebook is so much fun. Let me tell you, you get 1 million, is this available? Or I'm interested. And then they don't respond when you respond back. So it's probably a huge waste of time, but this is how I do things. I prepare to prepare. It's not the best method. But anyways, I titled this, You Have to Have a Mess Before the Message, because I'm definitely feeling deep in the mess of things. I'm down to the wire. I am heading back to Ohio. I have said that before, but I keep on getting a lot of people saying, are you coming back to Ohio? And I'm like, yeah, I said that. But not all of you are obviously hanging on every thread of what I'm saying. So just want to clear that up. I am heading back to Ohio. Whether it's permanent or not, I don't know, but it is for the right now, heading back to Ohio. Catherine says come back to Toledo. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Toledo, hometown. So that is the plan, and I'm getting my kids ready to get on a plane to go out ahead of me to spend the summer with their dad. And I just have been going through their rooms, and it's just I know many of you can relate to this. How on earth do we accumulate so much stuff? I'll use the nicer word. It is so much stuff. Oh, so I have been cleaning their rooms out. I've had boxes and boxes of stuff to sell. But then again, like I said, should I even be bothering trying to sell these things? Or am I just making this process harder than it needs to be and just throw it in the dumpster or take to Goodwill? Ultimately, I'll be making some trips to Goodwill. But yeah, so yes, Rainey Robinson to the Toledo area. So this is what's happening. Before I had said I was going to check out some things in the area and on the West Coast, and I did that, and just nothing was fitting with what I want for my kids and what I need for my family. So when they raised my rent here by $500 a month, I felt I always am looking for a sign from God, right? God, just show me what direction. And so when they raised my rent here, I was like, okay, I guess that means I am done here, because I cannot pay $500 extra in the already expensive but beautiful state of California. So okay, Pedro says to visit or to live. He wants to be very clear. I am coming back to Ohio to live for now. I do have another opportunity I'm checking out next week that is more on the west side of the country, but I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I kind of have to just take things, a step at a time, because I don't know. I've always said this is navigating the unknown, and I want God to steer this wheel, but I have to push the pedal. So I am pushing the pedal. I'm checking out the opportunities as they come. And so that's why I can't solidly commit that it's a permanent situation in Ohio, because I'm pressing on that gas, and I feel like God's taking me somewhere else to check out, just letting God steer the wheel. And we'll see. It's a huge unknown, but when I can tell you more, I will tell you more. But that's all I've got. So no. Do I have a job in Toledo? No. But but I do have like a lot of freelance things I've been doing this whole time, and I'm sure there's freelance things that I'll be able to do to keep me busy in Toledo. You know me, I keep busy regardless. But the big thing, yeah, tax write-off, Goodwill. Yeah, I know. That would have been the easier thing to do, Glenn. But, I like to make things complicated. So the big thing that I'm coming back to Ohio regardless of I have another opportunity or job is I'm getting married. So I've told you guys that before, but again, I get to ask that question. Yes, I'm getting married. And so we did not have a date set, but we decided, thank you, Lynn, we decided that, long distance for a year, this man is so patient, and it's time to just get married. So we're going to do a pop-up wedding 10 days after we drive all I can fit in my car back to Ohio. So again, this man drove me to California to live. We've been long distance for a year, and now he gets to help me move all the way back to Ohio. Did I say that right? From Ohio to California on the road, and now he's driving me back from California to Ohio. So that's a good man. So I'm sticking with him. So stop it. He's on this live, and it's like making me embarrassed. Stop commenting. Yes, he loves me. So yes, we're getting married like 10 days or something after. It's so crazy. So that's what I have. That's why it's been a while since I've popped on, is because I was freelancing. I was checking out these other opportunities, decided I would move back home for now or for permanent. We don't know, just taking things day by day. And on top of it, deciding, you know what, we've waited. It's been a year of a long distance relationship. Let's just get married. Add that to the mix. But hey, if a relationship can go through everything it's gone through, I think we're good. I'm feeling good about that. Thanks, Chris. He saw the announcement in the Blade. It wasn't announced in the Blade. Let's see. Rainey says, when one door closes, more open. Whatever's the right move, you will know when it arrives. I was just talking about this today because I listened to an amazing sermon this morning, and it's just like, I felt like it was right to me. But I think that when you're navigating the unknown, you just want to grab onto anything that you hear and like, yes, that's the direction. That's the message for me. But I'm open-minded, and maybe I'm like, well, I'm in a vulnerable state. So maybe it isn't directed at me, but it's a good message regardless. The message is all about like radical change. Be ready for radical change. Jesus showed us, how to live radically and abundantly, and feeling that like maybe I'm in for a radical change. And to relate it back to a question people always ask me, and I've addressed this already, like, why did you move from Toledo? And I tell them I just had something stirring in me. I'd spent my entire life, born, raised, college, everything was, my whole career, news career, had been in Ohio. And so I just felt like I needed that challenge. Something was stirring. And then this opportunity came out here in California. And so that is why I left Toledo. That's the short of it. It's just really that simple. And so some of you might be like, well, you went out there and then here you are laid off a year later. Like, do you think it was a mistake? And not once have I ever thought this was a mistake. Like, I've learned so much, and I just think all of these things are so interconnected. To come out here, report on a pandemic, report on job losses, report on businesses struggling, and then have it happen to me personally. Like, I appreciate the perspective. Of course it's hard, but I appreciate the perspective, and I think all of these things are just going to make me better at telling stories. I know that no matter what I do, I'm going to be doing something where I get to encourage, motivate others, and tell people stories. That's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about defending the truth and not being the gateway to truth, which I think gets confused sometimes. But I'm interested to see how the passions will end up coming together. But I'm reminded so much of my brother's favorite verse. It was tattooed on him. I have this tattoo because this was also tattooed on him, on his arm. And then he wrote me, I don't know if you can see that, he wrote, "Love your brother Matt," when he wrote me a letter on a mission trip. So I got that tattoo. But another tattoo that he had is Romans 8:28, and it says, "All things work together for good to those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose," or something close to that. But I think that's pretty much it. And standing on that, I know that all these crazy things that are happening at the same time and all these different directions I feel like I'm being taken, it's all going to work out for good. And I hope that that's a good reminder for you too, that whatever you're going through right now, it's all going to work out together for the good. Let's see what else I'm missing. Yeah, if we knew the outcome of everything we did, we'd never do anything, right? Fear can be so paralyzing. And on top of fear, anxiety can be paralyzing. And I've been feeling that. I've definitely, I addressed that before. I've been, overwhelmed by how much I have to get done in such a short period of time. And it affects you physically. Like, I get sick to my stomach and everything, but it's really all about taking that one step at a time. And one of the best things that is so simple that one of my mentors told me in church, when I was going through another crazy period of my life, was, "Christy, just," because I get overwhelmed with being indecisive, not knowing what I should do next. And the best thing that she told me was, just make the next best right decision. And it's so simple, but like, you don't have to have it all figured out, but you do have to take that next step. Just make the next best right decision. I have to remind myself of that all the time. But it's a good one, so I'm sharing it with you. And keep that in mind. Let's see, what am I missing? Hi, Dawn. I'm so thankful for the relationships that I've made out here. So yesterday, we had like a neighborhood cookout, and it was like a going away party, and it was just so sweet, but like sad at the same time, because the neighborhood came together, and the kids were playing, and there's just so many neat people around here. There's Nellie who came here from East Africa, and then there's a couple and their children that came from St. Petersburg, Russia, and there's my friend Sanaz, who is from Iran. I mean, it's just like, I love that. I love like being around people from different walks of life and different cultures, and that is something I hope to explore and discover back home, or wherever I end up, because I just have such an appreciation for meeting all different kinds of people and learning all the different perspectives. So Heather says, "Where are you moving? Did you find a new gig?" So for now, Heather, moving back home to refocus, regroup, and maybe God has called me to move back home permanently. I don't know. I don't have a gig there. I am just moving back there because that's where my fiance is, and we're going to get married when I get back. And I just answered that, Danny. I'm coming back to the Mommy Toledo area, to live. And but I do have an interview in a different state next week. So something I'm going to explore there that's radically different. But we'll see. So again, I feel like every time I hop on here, I'm like, I don't know. My heart is open, but I sure have gotten to do a lot of cool things, meet a lot of cool people in the meantime. Diane says, "No worries, it will work out exactly as preordained." Something I said last time in another post was that I heard that was just so encouraging in such a competitive job world and navigating the unknown was no one can audition. It was something to the effect of, no one can audition for the role God has already chosen you for, or something like that. But I think it brings comfort for you as well if you're looking for something or not knowing what the next step. It's a good thing to remember. No one can audition for the role that God's already chosen you for. So God's already got it and figured it out. I'm not completely sure how this is going to work out, but keeping busy in the meantime. Definitely have to pack up this entire house in a very short period of time. So I don't want to be on too long. I guess I do have a little bit of another nugget. So I when it was 40 days until we would be married, I said we should like do devotional or like read the Bible. And I was like, what should we read together? And John, my fiance, was like, let's read Job. And I'm like, Job? What are you trying to tell me? As you know, Job is the one that had everything possible go wrong in the book of the Bible. I'm like, I don't know that I want to read that, but I am reading it. And so far, the thing that really strikes me about Job is it reminds me also of David, because these are men after God's own heart. And I feel like the reason they were men after God's own heart is because they were just so honest. Like when Job got hit with all of the terrible things that were happening to me, I always had the impression that like Job just handled it in stride and just continued to praise God. But when in reading it again this time, he's saying like, oh, why didn't you just kill me when I was bored? Like, and he's like admitting he's like bitter and irritated and just, he has friends being like, well, maybe it was something that you did, maybe you deserved this, and he's like, like I don't know, I'm enjoying reading it. And the perspective that I got is that, you know, when Job is talking about all of the pain and heartache he's going through, he's just so honest. And that's how David was in the Psalms. He was so honest about what he was, or when he felt like abandoned by God or didn't know what God was doing. And so it's just encouraging to, again, continue to be Marvin just said I'm sorry, I get distracted so easily when I do these lives when people comment stuff. Said my hair looks fabulous. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that though. But as I was saying, that when you're going through any of these things, like, it's just comforting to know that it's okay to be honest, and it's okay to be like, what are you doing? And it's okay to be frustrated. And I've been all of those things throughout this time, but also trying to find ways to be grateful through the grief, because a lot of what I'm feeling is grieving, like, you know, ideas and dreams and things that I thought were going to be different than they were. It's a grief process, which I've identified, but I'm trying to find ways to turn that grief into gratefulness. I'm so grateful for these, not grieving for the loss, but I'm grateful for the gain, if that makes sense. There's things I'm losing, but I'm grateful for the memories and what I've gained from the experiences. So, another thing that I've been thinking about. So, not structured today, just been a long time since I connected with any of you. Wanted to give you an update. That's what's going on. This girl is heading back to Ohio and getting married and moving out and still going on an interview, seeing what's next, all at the same time. So that's what's happening. But I love hearing from you guys that are also struggling with something. I don't love hearing that you're struggling with something, but I love that you now feel safe in opening up to me. If you've lost a job or struggled in business or have other things that you're struggling with, I love that you reach out. I love that I have somebody else I can pray for, because I think when you're going through all of these things at the same time, it can be easy to start to be like self-focused, and don't want that. I want to be thinking and praying about other people. And if you're connecting or can relate to all of the craziness that's happening right now, then reach out to me. I hope that we can all encourage each other. That's all I wanted, was this to be a community of encouragement, support, motivation, and I hope that you get that sometimes from me. Oh, thank you, Connie. I've met such awesome people here. Okay, well, I think that's all I've got for now, but I'll try and keep you updated. I'll let you know if there's a future in this thing I'm checking out. I can't say that much about it because there's actually not a lot I know about it yet. So I will keep you updated. Thanks for your prayers. Thanks for your encouragement. Thanks for your support. And I will check back in with you later. Bye.